So you want to be a millionaire and create wealth for yourself. You also want to learn the laws of money. Or maybe you're just looking for ways to overcome debt. Well, I have some good news for you. We're going to cover 3 ways to help you move in that direction coming up. Hey, this is Rick Silva, Referral Coach with One Referral Away at YouTube and OneReferralAway.com. I'm here to teach you how to have more abundance in your life. Make sure you watch the entire video because it's packed with great ideas. Here we go. The 3 topics are called Raise Your Zero, Parkinson's Law, and then we're going to discuss a theory called the wedge theory that I learned from Brian Tracy. Let's first talk about money and having money. I've been broke. I'm sure you've been broke. We've all been broke. When your bank account is at zero, that's zero. There's going to come a time in your life where maybe you want to have some money, or maybe you want to go on vacation, or ultimately maybe you want to retire. So we're going to have to raise the zero to a new number. And then that number is going to become our new zero. When we have $0 in the bank, we're at zero. Okay. But what we can do is we start to raise that thermometer up and raise our threshold up. It takes a lot of self-discipline, guys, to have money, to have wealth. You can't spend everything. You've got to put some money away. If you don't have a lot of money, start small. Make $10 your zero. So you have your money at the end of the month, and when your bank account says $10, that's your new zero. That means you actually have $0. Then over time, as you get older and more successful, and for some of you, maybe you're in your 50s or 60s and you don't have a lot of money, we've got to start raising the zero. There's going to come a time where $500 is going to be the new zero, meaning when you get to $499, you're actually negative $1. 500 is the zero. And then we go to $1,000 is the zero, meaning when it gets to 1,000, you have no money. You cannot spend another dollar. You cannot go below zero. And then it gets up to 5,000 and 10,000 and 50,000 and 100,000 and a couple 100,000, which is fun. I can tell you, personal experience, 2, 3, 4, 500,000 in the bank. But when you get down, whatever that number is for you, as you continually raise it, you never lower it. You continually raise it. Someday, let's say it's up for you, it's $100,000. That means that $100,000 and you have $1. The $100,000 doesn't count because that's your zero. If you can learn to raise your zero, someday you'll create wealth and you'll be able to retire. Number 2, something called Parkinson's Law. Now, in all of the laws of success, all of the laws of the world that I've studied, there are 2 you have to break. We don't want to break any laws. Law of reciprocity, law of abundance. We don't want to break any laws except 2. One of them is for flying, and it's the law of gravity. We have to break the law of gravity when we're in an airplane, and for that time when we're flying, we're breaking the law of gravity. Other than that, when we're walking around, we'd like to have gravity, but when we're flying, we have to break the law of gravity. Hey, thanks for watching to this point. If you're getting value out of the video, please hit the like button and the subscribe button. It would really help out. If you'd like more videos like this, just let me know in the comments below. Back to the training. Thank you. I want to explain to you or discuss with you or give you the definition of what's called Parkinson's Law. Parkinson's Law says financial independence comes from violating Parkinson's Law. So like I said, breaking the law. 2 laws you have to break: gravity and Parkinson's Law. Parkinson's Law explains the trap that most people fall into. This is the reason for debt, money worries, and financial frustration. It's only when you develop sufficient willpower to resist the powerful urge to spend everything you make that you begin to accumulate money and move ahead of the crowd. So basically what Parkinson's Law says is money goes up and your bills follow. And sometimes your bills do this, and you actually create a negative wedge, and that's a negative net worth. Credit card debt, school debt, automotive debt, housing debt, debt. Falling prey to Parkinson's Law is as your income goes up, your expenses go up. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to break the law. If your income continues to rise and your spending continues to rise, it does this. You're never going to retire. You're going to have to work forever. You're always going to have financial pressure. You're always going to be wondering where the next paycheck's coming. It's going to be a rough life. I can tell you from personal experience, having money in the bank, it gives you the opportunity to make a good decision. So what we need to do, and I learned this from Brian Tracy, is we need to do what's called the wedge theory. So we need to break the law of gravity. We need to break Parkinson's Law. So we have to drive a wedge. Brian Tracy explains this very well. I've never done this in video. I've always explained it on webinars. I want you to think about what you made when you were a teenager, and think about what you made in your 20s and your 30s, and if you're older, 40s and 50s. Generally, your income goes up. Not all the time, but generally it goes up. So we're going to use this as your income going up. This is your income going up. And then this, as you made more money, you bought more cars, you spent more money, you went on better trips, you went to more expensive restaurants. For me, I bought more expensive cigars, and you bought houses and all that good stuff. So your expenses went up. So here's your income, and here's your expenses, and they do this. throughout life. What we need to do is we need to break the law by doing this. We're going to drive a wedge in Parkinson's law. So as your income goes up, we have to drive a wedge through here, sending this into motion. We have to increase our income and decrease our spending over time. Now, if you look at my fingertips, the gap between here and here, this is the money you use to invest. This is the money you use to retire on. So again, the Parkinson's law says income goes up, expenses rise to meet it, and you do this. We have to drive a wedge between income and expenses. This gap in between my fingertips, this gap as we go, this gap is the money you use to invest for long-term wealth. My strategy was through land. The 3 points again, you've got to raise your zero, you got to look at your bank account, and sometime you got to look at it and go, okay, it's at 5,000. I'm never going to let it go below 5,000, so that's your new zero. And you got to raise it and raise it and raise it. Someday you'll be able to retire. Number 2, we're going to break the law, Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law says income goes up, expenses rise to meet it. We have to figure out a way to make more money and spend less. That gap is called the wedge. You use that money to invest for long-term wealth, so again, you can retire someday. Raise your zero, break Parkinson's law, drive a wedge in between your income and your expenses. Someday you'll be able to retire. I hope this helps. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and give it a big thumbs up. If you have any networking or wealth creation videos you want me to shoot for you, just let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for watching. Keep networking. Make sure you like and subscribe. See you soon. Bye.